Hi folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. Hey, coming in with another podcast, The Chris Voss Show. I'm joined today with my friend Stephanie Rodriguez from JozuForWomen.com. Hi Steph, how you doing?
I am amazing, Chris. Very good to see you. Coffee with Chris Voss. I'm so excited. Coffee with Chris Voss.
So Stephanie, you guys are rolling out this exciting new website called JozuForWomen.com. People can go check it out. On Twitter, it's Jozu for the numeral 4 women. And you guys are rolling this out at South by Southwest 2017. This is going to be pretty exciting.
And then Instagram is Jozu_FOR_women. But you know that I am on Twitter and everywhere as @digitalgoddess with 1D. Jozu is a travel portal. So when we talk about website mobile, we know that everything's mobile. So rather than call ourselves an app, we refer to ourselves as a portal because we are omni-channel. Now, Jozu is a Japanese word, Chris, that means well done or better than. And our mission, as we believe it, is to help women travel better and safer. And Jozu is not spelled that way in Japanese, so we own that we didn't get it phonetically correct as far as the spelling, but the saying is exactly the same. But, in better, women make 92% of the vacation decisions regardless of who's paying. And I don't know what's gone on in your life before, and who made those calls. But, we're tasked with the planning, we're tasked with the decisions, we're tasked with, getting suitcases packed, etc. And that's a whole lot of research that goes into it. But, I've also found from a convenience point of view, you've got to go to like 17 different sites to find reviews, then you have to find pricing, and then you have to figure out, all the other stuff you want to do that's not on one of the OTAs. Travel agencies, brick and mortar, are on the decline. More and more hotels are being booked via OTAs. But, that's not addressing from my point of view, selfishly, why I came up with the idea of Jozu. I've been consulting to blue chip travel companies like airports, airlines, hotel chains like Club Med, duty-free companies around the world for the last 5 years for digital transformation and social. And I always book my own travel because I'm a control freak. One of the things that was a repeat theme in my travel was that I'd book a hotel that I found online only to find that it was crap. Not crap because it didn't, meet its expectations of how it was sold. Wi-Fi was good, rooms were clean, all that stuff. But what was missing was that it was in the middle of the red light district, or was perhaps located too far away from a chemist and had crappy hair dryers. Now, those are things that men don't give a crap about. But for me, it was a strong impact that I would not recommend if I were a solo traveler to another woman. And, there's a fundamental difference between men and women in the way we travel. Women will ask for directions, but right now there's no single place to go beyond Facebook and Twitter that if you're going to ask a question, that somebody who's a subject matter expert or has some social credibility is going to give you an answer that is also a female. And that was the kind of the trigger point, or if you would, of why Jozu.
This makes a lot of sense because women put a lot more care and effort, and of course, I think have more needs and kind of have more relationship with their ambient environment around them, and feeling comfortable, secure, like you say, and also being able to, just have the stuff that they need and feel like it's a wonderful place to be.
Well, we do, as I said, earlier, we make 92% statistically those decisions. Women control more than $7 trillion in commerce, Chris. So when we think about where we sit and the decisions we're making, everything from what type of washing machines in a house to where are we going on holidays, those are, whilst no one's really addressed that part of the market, there is a significant amount of purchasing power here that we hold, but or at least I didn't at the time, have a place that I could go to find information that I wanted, either to take my son to a kids club that spoke English, or to have amenities that I would need nearby. I have an only child, and now he's a bit older, but when he was younger, I was always looking for play dates, and to be on vacation with an only child means you have to entertain him. So to be able to find another family with a similar kid, the similar age, and we can have a glass of wine and the kids can play in the pool would have been a blessing versus me having to entertain him the whole time. So, we look at what is Jozu for? It's not necessarily just for the solo adventure. It's for the mom who's planning. It's for the, the 48-year-old self-actualizing traveler who wants to do a cycling trip through Europe and wants to find out where it's safe for her as a woman to go, or which trips are good for her to book, that she's not going to feel uncomfortable or just be displaced, if you would. In the advent of International Women's Day, human trafficking is a massive issue in travel, especially with the rise of solo travel and females. And you're on your own, you have to go to the bathroom, you wind up someplace you shouldn't have been, your handbag's stolen, you're in a vulnerable situation. What do you do next? Who do you talk to? The person who appears to be safe may not be safe. There's an enormous amount of vulnerability around women traveling just because we're women. You and I could walk down the same street and I feel uncomfortable and you don't, just because of our gender. And that's not a feminist quote, it just is.
Well, safety and security for women are definitely an issue. I mean, I've heard of islands that just about anybody, if you take the wrong taxi, you can end up kidnapped and killed. It's very dangerous.
Well, I was in Brazil during the bubble, so now I'm dating myself, but I did work in the bubble for CMGI, and I was part of the Latin American team that was going down and meeting with all the ad agencies during the ad knowledge, that whole wonderful happening. And I arrived in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, with my team, and I saw a Citibank, and I wanted to go to the Citibank to get some cash out because I didn't have any Brazilian, whatever it is, currency they use. So I asked the front desk guy, I'm like, excuse me, I saw a Citibank, can you tell me how to get there? And he said, no. I said, look, I saw it. I know it's there. And I spoke to him in Portuguese, and he's like, no. And we went on for about 15 minutes, and I finally said, why won't you tell me where the bloody ATM is? And he said, miss, and he looked at me across the desk, he goes, with that hair, and at the time I had this blonde platinum hair coloring that is not necessarily my natural color, but he said, miss, with that blonde hair, if I tell you where to go, the Yakuza are going to pick you up and your government will not find you, and not on my watch. So how's about I advance you $200 on your hotel's stay on your corporate credit card, and I might take the heat from my manager, but I would prefer to do that than tell you to walk 3 blocks and turn right, because if you get abducted, I don't want it to be on me. And, at that moment, Chris, it's so funny. I went into the Maksud Plaza in Sao Paulo, I remember, and I dyed my hair dark brown, which is closer to my natural color, to blend in. And I showed up at dinner and scared the bejesus out of my team, because they're like, what happened to you? And I'm like, no, I got a warning, mate. And I like changed my hair color because he put the fear of God into me, this front desk clerk. So this was 2000, it's 2017. Not much has changed.
So in looking at the site, it looks like it's not just a travel site for ordering travel. It looks like it's also a community like Facebook.
Well, it is. We are fortunate to have, in partnership and being built, integrating with some of the world's best technology. And most startups never get to have, real horses under the hood, if you would, and that kind of firepower at launch. We are partnered with Lithium Technologies, and Lithium are the community layer that underpins some robust communities like Sephora, their Beauty Talk community, which has got hundreds of thousands of women discussing mascara at any given time. That wouldn't be me, but they are. Airbnb, I believe, Google use them, Barclaycard, Southwest Airlines. So the technology that we have does indeed allow for peer-to-peer, member-to-member communication. And one of the unique differences about Jozu that it's probably going to limit your user experience is there are parts of our community that male users will not be able to access. It's almost, if you would, like a ladies' lounge or a ladies' locker room. No men inside, thanks, so that we can speak freely. And those parts of our community are different user journeys based on gender.
Being a community site makes it so that women can exchange ideas and everything all together.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, one of the unique features of Jozu, and what really makes us special, because as I said, you can book on us. We are very proud to be in the Amadeus Startup Ventures incubator. So we have one of the strongest GDSs, and most pedestrians don't know what GDS means, and that's Global Distribution Systems. It's the software that travel agencies and OTAs use. So we're built on Amadeus, and that's exciting because we have access to the same inventory as the big OTAs do. So you can book and find a holiday and book a holiday with us. But more interestingly is Jenny. And Jenny is our travel genie. She's the Jozu travel genie, and she's like your best friend slash a travel concierge. And she gets to know you by what you say, what you're interested in, your profile and how you self-actualize, and also the information you tell her by your behavior and explicitly and implicitly. And so she's conditioning with machine-based learning and AI in our own interface what's your perfect holiday. So when you are ready to go on a vacation and say, Jenny, tell me, Jenny will say, well, I know, Steph, you don't like camping. So she is never going to recommend camping for me or an eco destination because I need a hairdryer and Wi-Fi. Secondly, she also looks at what I'm searching for and is probably more proactive than reactive. I mean, Siri only does what we tell Siri to do. We have to ask her something in order for her to think something, whereas Jenny is a little bit different. Jenny is listening to you and also recommending and improving your experience on Jozu on a day-to-day basis. So one of the things that we know with women carrying so much knowledge about travel, we're the ones who do all the planning. We go, we store things, we share. That Jenny, if I'm searching for information on kids clubs in Mexico that speak English, then Jenny will know that another member has discussed that at some point on the community and suggest that I meet that person who holds that knowledge. If I post a message on the board and say, can anyone tell me, traveling with kids board, where's a great place that speaks English for a 10-year-old boy? And let's say Sarah in California has already been to Mexico, she'll ping Sarah. First, she'll show me Sarah's content. If Sarah's written about it somewhere, made a comment, she'll take me to Sarah's content, which is great because I can base my own opinions. But unlike some of the OTAs out there or some of the review sites that we've gotten to know and love in the past 15 years, and I'm not going to name them, there's no transparency about the reviewer. You don't know Joe Smith 67's version of clean. And, much like we know that that's a very subjective word, nice, clean, really? But if you were to click on the profile of a Jozu member on the community, you'll be able to see what Steph's known for, what the community believes I'm good at, or how my advice has helped them. So you have the choice to take advice from someone who's a little bit vested in the community or has more social credibility. And we also have a layer that destination gurus, and gurus are actually, we're bringing in subject matter experts from tourism boards, hotel chains, and airlines that can answer questions, and they're women, to other women and speak in an official capacity with transparency. So who better to answer a question about Mexico and kids clubs but the Mexican Tourism Board marketer, who can actually say, here's what we know, and speak factually. So we believe that the community will be built in a hybrid of subject matter experts who have a vested interest in encouraging women to travel more and connecting the dots, and those who've actually done it and are willing to share. And Jenny's kind of that social facilitator who does that.
Well, I think there's definitely a place for it. I mean, I've booked hotels that my girlfriends have been happy with. I've had friends that have wives that they have made their wives happy.
Well, it's a very different thing, Chris. I mean, we know a lot about women in travel from a data point of view, and Amadeus, Sabre, all of the GDSs produce a lot of reports and insight. Skift, there's websites that, talk to the industry all the time. But if you just look at, much more relevant and basic psychology, if you ask a woman about a vacation, she is not going to tell you the thread count of the sheets. No, she won't. She will tell you, though, because women are very experiential when it comes to leisure travel and vacation when it's downtime. We met the nicest people by the pool. The hotel really has nothing to do with that. But I can tell you on the flip side of this that I was in Indonesia and Bali on Nusa Dua Beach, and I went to a very posh 6-star hotel that I'm not going to name, with the most amazing architecture you can ever imagine. It was ridiculously gorgeous. But I went there for brunch, and it was just littered with Eastern European prostitutes and their cohorts. And I just went, you know what? I would never bring my son here, and it's not good for my family. Now, if you look at how that would be told on the internet, some of our most popular travel review sites, I'm not going to name, would not put that content up there. But would it matter, and would I anecdotally tell another woman who asked me about Nusa Dua, where should I go with my kid for a 6-star experience on Nusa Dua? I'd say, well, this hotel's great. However, let me tell you what I know about it and speak honestly. And women don't speak so honest in open environments where our opinions aren't going to be respected. But woman to woman, we will share, and to say, well, it's a great hotel, it looks beautiful on the brochure, but the audience is a little seedy and you're not going to have a great time. Or no one there speaks English, or there isn't any vegetarian menu and you happen to be a vegan, or you're traveling with disabilities and they don't have a hairdryer within arm's reach for you. Now, these are all really, unique issues, but when you're planning your vacation, you want to have the best time possible. And knowledge is power,
Well, that sounds awesome. Tell us about what you guys are doing at South by Southwest, and the cow in the back there, I guess, is the mascot.
Oh, this is one of the bells. We got a pair. No, they are neutral, really. For the purpose of this conversation, they're gender neutral. But what are we doing at South by? Well, we are in the South by Southwest startup on Friday night at the Hilton in the Startup Village, which is inside the Hilton on I think the 4th or 6th floor. And we are exhibiting there and talking with the media and making new friends and giving out swag from 4 to 6. Quite exciting. We have a team. There's 4 of us from the Jozu team coming from all over the world, from Hong Kong, from Australia, from Jamaica, from Miami, and we will be present. We'll be attending South by as delegates, but we are also speaking, and I'm not sure when, that hasn't been released to me, at the Girls Lounge, which is going to be over in the Radisson. So it's an official South by lounge, the Girls Lounge. We're also going to be doing some pop-up Instagrams. We've got some fantastic contests. We're giving away 4 sets of 2 tickets. So 4 couples or 8 friends or whatever can win a trip for 2 to Jamaica for May during Labor Day weekend for the Irisol Wellness event. Now, it's a week long. It is curated by David Wolf, and David Wolf is like hugely popular in the health food and eat well and farm to table. I think he's got 10 million fans on Facebook. He is the big face of this whole thing. But Chris Blackwell's organizing the music, so there's a music component to this. Sharon Fieni, who is a very well-known health person, is doing yoga and has a whole wellness program with healing. And then there's a gastronomy part to it. So it's got 4 parts, and you can switch around your tracks and have some fun on farm to table, organic dining, and the local cuisine, which is kind of the Rasta. It's called Ital, and it's vegetarian. So there's foods. There's the Green Initiative, which is, I'm not going to go into that, but it's certainly something Jamaica's long-term been known for. Some discussions about how medical tourism is now the new trend in Jamaica. So bring your green card to Jamaica and have a good time. And the benefits of the Bob Marley set of values. But it's a beautiful festival. The Jamaican Tourism Board are part of the sponsor for this, and Jozu is taking over the wellness part. And we have an experience within an experience for our winners. So every day at South by, somebody's going to win 2 tickets, airfare, hotels, VIP transfers, and a time of their life with me, with the Jozu crew in Jamaica in May. So that's going to be pretty fun. We've also got swag bags. We've got 30 to give away. So during South by on social media, we've got 1,000 limited edition pair of pink Jozu sunglasses that are Belle's color. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, temporary tattoos at our booth on Sunday. We're going to have some fun, a few surprises that we're not going to talk about yet. But yeah, yes, you can come and get your picture with the Bells. There's 2 of them, the twins. Yep. Now, I recommend following us on Facebook, because that's where we're going to be announcing some of our pop-up events and surprises. So if you've liked us on Facebook, then it'll appear in your feed, which is good, because that's where some of these really exciting gift bags we're going to give away. We've got 30 gift bags. Inside are beautiful Cabot neck pillows, lots of luxury travel amenities. So they're probably about worth $300, and we've got 30 of them. So find us for the travel goodies.
So it also looks on your website like you guys have a magazine on there.
Jaunt magazine. Yeah, that's on the iTunes and Google Play newsstand right now. So our first issue was out in December, and it is a travel and lifestyle magazine for women. It showcases some of our members and advocates even earlier before we were launching who we thought were doing something interesting in the travel space. And this is a bi-monthly publication, so our next one's about to come out, but we wanted to get through South by before we released it, with Catherine Eisman. She's an American and Australian journalist on the cover, talking about travel, International Women's Day, human trafficking. It's Women's History Month this month too, so lots on the women's interest topic. But yeah, it's a travel and lifestyle magazine for women, and it's free on Google and on iTunes. We will be live on Wednesday. We are launching on International Women's Day, so our site will be live and functioning tomorrow. So yeah, that's when we will be, fully ready. Battle station's ready. And we are looking forward to seeing everyone at South by Southwest, online, offline, around the line, in the line, out of the box, in the box, there's no box, whatever.
So be sure to check out Jozu for Women at South by Southwest.
The bell. She's awesome.
Oh yeah, check out their Twitter and in their fan page, and be sure to enter the sweepstakes forum.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Stephanie.